Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maggie. Today we are going to review my 2021 finances as a whole. I'm really excited. I like to track numbers and get kind of into the nitty-gritty. So I have a few different sheets to go through with you today, and I'm just really excited overall to talk about how 2021 went for me because it was a pretty big year. I had a lot of wins, I had a lot of changes, but a lot of positive changes. So I want to talk about all of those things today. If you are new here, I do post a monthly budget video every month, as well as a monthly recap where I go over how much I actually spent, what my savings rates were. We fill in some, trackers that we color in. There's a lot of fun stuff that happens. So I will link my most recent ones down below if you want to check them out, as well as the playlist. So we're going to start off by talking about my income for the year. So I tracked all the different kinds of categories of income I received throughout the year, which is very, very interesting. And you guys know I like to do numbers as well as percentages. So I wanted to talk through each of these. I also categorize them as active or passive sources. You might have different definitions or disagree with what I consider active or passive, and that's okay. For me, active means that I had to trade like significant energy and time to get the money, whereas passive didn't require so much work on my part. So with all that being said, let's begin. So the first thing, I switched jobs in May. So my last day at my old job was in April. I had like a week off and then I started a new job in May. So that was a big significant change, and that's going to impact a lot of things. So the first thing I have is my old job here, 30% of my total income. And then my new job is 49% of my total income for the year. So very big change in how much I was being paid. I did get a good raise with that job change. So those are my number one and number two categories of total income. Bank interest, I earned $14.50. I do have high yield savings accounts with Capital One, and I also have an account with my credit union where my mortgage is through. That gives me a little bit throughout the year. Really not that much. Credit card cashback though, $557.93. In the grand scheme of things, it's not even a full percentage, but that's a lot of money. There are different strategies to credit card cashback. I cash it out every month and include it in my budget and save it or do whatever. But I know other people, and I've done this in the past when I was in college, is I saved all of this till the end of the year. And this is what I would use to pay for Christmas gifts or to pay for holidays or something like special that happens around the end of the year. And this helps out quite a bit. Work reimbursements, much lower this year, $54.24. So in prior years with my old job, I would travel for work quite a bit. So I had a lot of expense reports and things of that nature. So not a big thing of this year. Bonus, my old job did give me a bonus, about $1,200 after taxes. So 1.93% of my total income for the year. Amazon, MTurk, Mechanical Turk, I did not do that many surveys this year. This is a survey platform. I always have it linked down below in my description box if you want to check it out. It's not like affiliate or anything, just the general link. But I did earn $26.88. YouTube or Google AdSense, I earned $516.54 throughout the year. My goal for 2022 is to make $600, so hopefully that'll happen. But that is a good number. I'm very happy with it. I'm not doing YouTube to like make money, but it is nice to get a little kickback from the ads and everything. Personal reimbursements. So my boyfriend and I do split some costs like groceries, household things. And I do most of the household shopping for us. So I hold on to receipts, we balance each other out in a spreadsheet, and figure out who owes what at the end of the month. So we just write each other a check, whichever way it goes, one time a month. This also includes like if I go out to eat with my friends and I pay and then they Venmo me, all of that's wrapped up in personal reimbursements. So $5,567, that's the third, number three in all of the different income sources at 8.93%. Government money. So this is for tax returns and stimulus checks. I did qualify for the stimulus check. The third one that happened, I got it January of 21. So $28.85, 4.63% of my total income. Other. So for my old job, I used to get stipends, and then they didn't have a 401k. They had this like profit share program. And so when you terminate, you have to cash it out. So I just consider it other because it was a weird situation, like never going to happen again, but 2145 there. Dividends and interest. So this is specifically from investing. $52.71. I can't wait to see this number grow years to come, but still $52.71 that I didn't have to go out and make. It happened for me. And lastly, I have cashback websites or apps. My favorites are Mr. Rebates, which is similar to Rakuten or Ebates. I just find that Mr. Rebates has higher percentages. I have that link down below. And my new favorite is GetUpside, which is the gas cashback app. I also have a link for that down below, and I do have a referral code for each of those if you care to use it or not. I'm sure we both get, some sort of kickback, but I don't know what they are right now or what, deal it is. But yeah, $29.14. Not a huge amount, but still better than nothing. So my total take-home income, because my salary stuff is just the net, $62,426.25. 79.85% is considered active and 20.15% is considered passive, which I think is awesome to have 20% of my income passive right now. I would love to see this number, grow even higher, but I'm very, very pleased with that. So I went through this first because it's important for us to know what total number I'm working with as I turn this over to my budget. Here is the budget. I have the different categories here, the budgeted dollar amount, the budgeted percentage for each category, like mortgage, insurance, groceries, whatever. And then here I have my actuals, the dollar amount and the percentages. And I colored these in green, meaning that it's better than I predicted. So like for bills, a better thing would be that they're lower. Whereas with my savings, a better thing would be that I saved more, if that makes sense. So quickly, a few things I want to call out. I mean, you can pause and look at this, of course, but my mortgage was less than 20% of my total income all year. That makes me really happy. My subscriptions, I know a lot of people say like cancel all the subscriptions, and I don't think that you need subscriptions that you're not paying for. But at the end of the year, 1% of my total income went to subscriptions. Like it's not that big of a category, that big of a deal for me. 46% went to groceries, 1% went to gas. I work from home full time now, so I'm not having a daily commute, so that makes a difference. 15% went to personal spending, so like eating out, buying clothes, whatever I want, is all wrapped up in there. So my total expense section was less than 60%, 59.03. That makes me so proud. I'm very, very happy with that. Moving down into funds, nothing really crazy here. The biggest thing, of course, is that I was able to save quite a bit. My emergency fund, over $3,000 to that this year, which feels great. And I ended up saving 25.81% of my money went to different savings goals, which feels pretty good. Okay, investing. So I've been investing all year, but at the beginning of the year, it was just like 20 bucks a month, $25 a month, whatever. And after I became credit card debt free, then I went for it more. So 3.24% of my total income went to post-tax investing, but that's okay with me. That's, progress. I can't wait to compare this number to what I end up doing this year. Here I've got the debt. So I had a Capital One balance and a Citi credit card balance. I ended up paying $6,525.35 in total to my credit cards this year, which is 10.45% of my total income, which hurts, but I'm glad that this is out of my life now and I don't have to worry about it. And then lastly, I had a few things that I cash flowed throughout the year that just kind of came up. So it was $920.12, which is 1.47% of my total income. So that is how I did overall. I mean, I'm not going to memorize these numbers, but it is helpful to me, at least, especially these percentages, to put things into perspective. And then I was able to make goals for this year based upon some of this information. So here's my overview sheet. We've talked about the total income, the passive and active, and here's a little summary of the different categories of my budget and the percentages. Let's talk about some other numbers though. So the next one I have here are my savings rates. And I took my year-to-date average. I do calculate my savings rate every month with my budget recap videos. I do both with my mortgage and without my mortgage principal. So with was 18.9% and without was 11.66%. That makes me really happy. Debt contributed to this and paying that off throughout the year. But, I wanted to be at 15 and 10%, and I was able to do both of those. Speaking of debt and everything, let's look at where I started and where I'm ending. So for non-mortgage debt, I started the year with 3210, and I'm ending the year with 0, which feels amazing. Savings, so I just took like the different savings accounts and totaled them. At the beginning of the year, I started with about $3,600, and I'm ending almost doubled, just shy of that, so $6,100, which feels great to have that saved up, and I have different funds and everything going. Investing, I started the year with $688 invested, and now I have over $7,000. Also amazing, because when I switched my job, I got a 401k, which I didn't have before. I have a high deductible health plan, which got me an HSA, which I didn't have before. So I have different avenues I can invest in. And now that I'm credit card debt free, I can shovel more money towards those investments. So overall, a great year. My net worth changed. So I increased my net worth by 37.89% throughout the entire year, which is pretty darn good, I think. So in January, my net worth was $106,500 roughly, ending the year just shy of $147,000 worth of worth in myself, which is pretty cool. I don't share these numbers too much, but I do think it's important to talk about it and share that. I just turned 27, and I think that's a pretty good net worth to have at a 27-year-old. All right, let's talk about my mortgage next. So my mortgage is currently $145,682.01. And it came down almost $3,800 this year. I bought my home in May of 2018, and my mortgage was originally $160,000. So I'm making good progress on it here. This year, I paid an extra $947.07 towards my principal. I make an additional payment every month. I aim to have one full payment a year. So what I do is I take the total of one payment, divide it by 12, because there's 12 months, and I add that to each monthly payment. I am a little bit above that actually, because there were some recalculations of my taxes. So I'm a little bit above that, but $947 extra to my mortgage, which is awesome. Which in total since May 2018, I've paid over $6,400 extra towards my mortgage since then. So that feels great to see that number growing. This year, by paying extra, I saved $113.87 in interest. And if you're wondering how I know these things, I keep a mortgage amortization schedule. I printed this off, I fill it out, I do this every month, so I know how much I was supposed to pay in interest, how much I actually do, and I highlight it to my snowball as I keep working for it. So this has been a really great tracker for me. I would highly recommend. I can link down below the website I used. You just fill in like your basic information of how much the loan was, what the term life was, all that, but that's been really great to track. So in total, I've saved $216.14 in interest, and that's just going to keep snowballing on itself. Okay, I have one more thing to share with you before we talk about my top achievements, and that is my utility tracking. So again, I'm a numbers nerd. I keep track of how much I pay in utilities every month. So I have Excel, which is my electricity. CP stands for Center Point, which is my natural gas, and then my water, and then I do consider iTunes storage as a utility. But I've kept track of this ever since I bought my house. So I have, a 3-year average that I calculate, but I compare my number. So like in the pink, it's higher than it was last year in January versus green is lower than it was last year. This is really helpful for me to see how much I'm spending in total. So in total on utilities, I spent about $1,200, which is crazy because that's about $100 a month. Of course, it fluctuates. My water is quarterly-ish. So this one in May and June always gets funky, but these ones increase some months, but this helps me. If you're familiar with how I budget for my utilities, this helps me know what to kind of expect for the next year. So down below, I have my averages. So I take, Excel from January, I add all 3-4 years together, divide it out, and then I have my average. And then it gives me my total for my utilities, and therefore I just round up So this is what I kind of budget for in the new year. And you know, I'm within a few dollars usually. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower, but this helps me know kind of where I am. So if you've never tracked your utilities, it's very easy to just look up the bank account that your utility comes out of. Like I can search for the word Excel and find all of them and just plug in these numbers, but I find this interesting. So this is my total, $1,200.10 this year. Okay, let's wrap this video up with my top 5 achievements. I think it's important for things like this, even though goals are important, so much of my life changed. Like I didn't know I could even invest that much, and I wouldn't have been able to if I didn't change my job. So I'm just going to talk about my top 5 achievements because some of the goals I set myself didn't happen, but that's because of my life changes. So number 1, I paid off all of my consumer debt, credit cards basically, and I haven't gone back into credit card debt, which means I've been able to successfully budget, to use my sinking funds, to be able to say no to things. I've been able to stay within my means, and I'm not overextending anymore, which is honestly the biggest challenge of every month, is to make sure I'm on top of it, but it feels really great to be done with credit card debt. Number 2, I switched jobs. Not only was this good for my bank account, I have better mental health, I'm happier, I have better benefits. Like I said, I have an HSA and a 401k now, and I also got a 33% raise by just switching my job, which I know that it sucks when companies lose people, but I was never going to get a 33% raise if I stayed at my previous company. I went 2.5 years without even getting a cost of living raise. So yeah, I was happy to move on and be able to have a better paycheck. I mean, that's something that it makes you feel valued when your employer gives you a raise, and I wasn't getting that. So getting a big jump by switching jobs was really, really great for me. Number 3 is I maxed out my HSA for the first time. So not only did I get an HSA, I maxed it out, which is $3,600 for medical expenses. My employer does contribute to it partially for me, so that's great to have a little bit of a head start there. And I know that the HSA, if you don't use it for medical expenses, when you reach retirement age, it becomes just a regular retirement account. So win-win overall. I'm very happy with this. I also, number 4, finished my estate planning. So I set up a trust for all of my assets. I have a power of attorney. I have my medical wishes documented. It's not exactly the most fun thing. It's a little weird to think about because you're planning for your death, but it makes me feel so much more comfortable that I have my wishes and everything that, I think is important on paper. There's a couple of things that I own that I specifically want gifted to certain people because it would be meaningful to them. And so I was able to get that down on paper, and it's the peace of mind. So that was a big check mark for me to finally have off my list. And my 5th one is I cash flowed and saved for a luxury bag. I did treat myself to a Burberry bag this year, which I love. And also our vacations. We went on a variety of vacations, and we do kind of hack them. My boyfriend travels for work, so usually he has to work a part of it, but it gets his flights free basically. But I was able to go on vacations this year, and I was able to cash flow them, and we were able to do it within our budget. And that was really, really good. So again, kind of piggybacks off number 1 that I've been able to stay out of credit card debt, but learning to budget and actually save for the things that I want to do is amazing. You don't have to say no to everything, but you can't say yes to everything either. So these were things that were priorities for me and made me feel accomplished, and I'm just really glad that I was able to achieve both of them without debt. So that is my 2021 overview. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will have a few different videos linked down below, like my 2022 goals, my most recent budget, all of that fun stuff if you like these types of things. I would love to hear from you though. What were your top achievements of 2021 financially? What's something you're just really proud of, or a few things? I did my top 5. I just love to hear about your wins. What's something that you accomplished, that you achieved, that you're proud of, because I feel like goals, while they're helpful to set and to have things to achieve, it can be really hard when you don't achieve them to think that I did nothing all year. I fall into that mindset where, I didn't do this, so therefore I unravel everything to being nothing, but I still did achieve things. So I would love to hear from you the positives that you achieved financially in your last year. That is it for me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.